The ancient martial art of karate-do originated on the Japanese island of Okinawa in the mid-15th century. It's believed that a ban on carrying weapons encouraged the development of unarmed self-defense. It wasn't until early this century that Gichin Funakoshi introduced karate to the Japanese mainland, and from there its fame spread to the rest of the world. Gibraltar got its first taste of karate in 1973. The man responsible for this was 5th Dan black belt Bob Pugh.
Well, I first came to Gib, I was working in the airport, and some lads in the airport, we got talking about it and they wanted to learn. So we started practicing Catholic Community Centre. That didn't last too long because their aches and pains overtook them and they decided to stop. I was then approached by 3 young Gibraltarian lads, Carlo Duarte, Michael Goodman and Tony Lima, and they asked if I would teach them. I said yes I would if they found a premises for us to train in. About a week or so later they came back and they'd found the old DSA, which is where we started training, and that's where the Gibraltar Karate Club actually started.
In the old days, karate was more of a mystery than it is today, because nobody really knew much about it. But then there was a martial arts explosion in cinemas and on television, which helped to popularize the art and get more and more people interested in karate locally. The present spacious premises of the Shotokai dojo, or gym, give students more freedom of movement and therefore a chance to get the best out of their practice and improve their performance. But in the early days, conditions for practicing karate were less than ideal.
They were very difficult because we had no proper club. We just used old rooms in the old DSA. But then we decided to have a beginner's course, and we had so many people came along that the DSA allowed us to use the main hall, which was a vast improvement. Then unfortunately the old DSA got knocked down. So we moved to the new DSA and we were back in prehistoric conditions again because they were building the new DSA while we were training in there. So wives were complaining about dirty karate suits because we were training in brick dust and cement, etc. Eventually it did get sorted out. We did a lot of work in the old, new DSA to help refurbish it. And then after that we left and we got our own club in Baker's Passage. This again was an old store. We needed to raise money to put a floor in, a decent wooden floor. So we held a 12-hour walking around Gibraltar. A lot of people suffer with a lot of bad feet afterwards, but we did raise enough money to put a new floor into the club. And from then on, we were just on and up then. We continued from better to better.
Over the last 20 years, the Gibraltar Karate-Do Shotokai has seen hundreds of prospective martial artists walk through its doors, either because they wanted to keep fit or have been interested in self-defense. But what sort of dedication is needed by someone who wants to take up karate?
I think it depends how far they want to take it. If they want to continue to a high level, then it does take quite a lot of dedication. You have to spend some time at it, like any other sport. If you want to be good, you have to spend time at doing the sport.
Senior instructor at the club, Frank da Costa, has been practicing karate now for 15 years. He started his martial arts training when he was studying in the UK. He was one of the many people attracted to it by the spectacle of what he'd seen in films, but he now has a trained eye for what to look for in his new students.
In the beginning, we are looking for them to enjoy themselves, you know. They come in with, obviously they don't know anything about karate. They think, as I said, you know, when I got interested, they think it's spectacular. They see films like Bruce Lee, you know, Sean Connery or Chuck Norris, and they think it's something out of this world. Eventually, it's fun and games, and slowly they get involved, and eventually they'll find out for themselves different things. And I think from the kids' point of view, fun and games is the word to describe it.
Frank reckons that the ideal age to take up karate is around 7, but still it's difficult to tell who's going to persevere and who will drop out.
It's very difficult because it depends on the personality of the person. Sometimes we find that people with a very high IQ usually stay on. And other times we find, people, although the IQ is not very high, they're very physically able to do the martial arts, and I think it's very difficult to define the ideal person in the martial art. At the beginning, it's the usual lessons, which is once or twice a week. And then once you get interested, obviously, there's other activities that you can take on, for example, running or weight training or aerobics training, or it's various activities which you find out you need to develop in your martial art.
From then on, as with all other martial arts, there are various grades to achieve in order to progress in karate.
Well, the first grade is usually the white belt, which is the new beginner as he comes into a new club. Then you go into the red belts, then yellow. After yellow comes orange, green, blue, brown, and eventually black. And in the black level, in our style, Shotokai karate, we have five dan grades. The highest is Mr. Harada, Sensei Harada, and he's the fifth dan. Obviously, in other styles, there's grades above 5th dan, but in our case, Sensei Harada decided to keep the 5th dan as the maximum, because his instructor, who was the most senior instructor that has ever been in karate, Mr. Funakoshi, was graded to 5th dan, and he thought, in respect to that, he'll keep it the 5th dan as the maximum grade. After 1st, 2nd dan, I think you're not worried about the dan grades. It's more of a personal thing rather than the grade that you attain. We don't put so much emphasis on the grade after 1st or 2nd dan.
When you join a karate club, you're first of all taken through basic moves. From learning the basic moves, you then go on to shadow boxing, if you like. It's put into what they call a kata. And a kata is an imaginary opponent, and the idea is to get you to move left and right and use all the moves, the basic moves that you've been taught. From there you move on to single techniques, double techniques, treble techniques. You then move into a lot of movement, side-to-side movement, getting used to go backwards and forwards so you can escape from a punch as much as get into a punch. And then it goes on to that to free fighting. It's a graduation from the basic up into the beginning of taking care of yourself.
A great deal of importance is given to instruction throughout the karate organisation, especially when it comes to children. How difficult is it to get through to them that what they're doing is exercise as opposed to being taught to fight?
Well, that depends on the level of the instructor. We place a lot of emphasis on having good instructors, because it's very difficult with kids, it's very difficult to get down to their level and try and make them understand what you're trying to give in the class. So it's very important for the instructor to actually identify himself with the kids and eventually try to, bring all the best that they have. Up to 1st dan, we can grade in Gibraltar. Above 1st dan, we have to go to UK or in a big international course organized around, it depends on the country, maybe France, Morocco, UK, and there would be senior instructors, mainly 5th dans, who can actually grade us.
Apart from members going abroad, the local club receives periodic visits from its senior instructor, Sensei Harada. During a recent visit, Sensei Harada presented certificates to young martial artists and held training sessions with senior members. As the world's highest authority on Shotokai, he admits that there's still a lot to learn about karate and its benefits.
Well, that's my case. More over 40 years I practice. And first our practice, almost university student group, really fighting. looks like boxing or kickboxing is a type of karate. But my personal experience, no, it's not true. Some part of okay, fighting is, but the real part, no, how to keep good health, good or strong or powerful muscles. That's the real target. But that's my personal experience. And of course, if you wanted to practice good health, good muscles, naturally good method we need it. So mind also, we need to keep a good mind or studying the mind. And always we must develop.
You have a certain amount of relaxation in karate. In this particular style, there is a lot of it. Therefore, meditation and teaching yourself to relax play an important part. And bit by bit, you take off the power from your body, and you're able to use the inner power, if you like, your spiritual power, rather than your strength power, your muscular power. This is done bit by bit through different exercises, through meditation if you want to, and it shows the softness of a punch and the damage you can do more with a softer punch than you can with a powerful one.
Whereas at one time the martial arts explosion on film and TV encouraged people to take up these sports, Sensei Harada believes that in the long term the entertainment business is doing more harm than good.
Well, my personal opinion, this is anyway, 1963, first time I come to Europe, and just starting karate. So some part of right very development, it's true, by this kind of TV or film. But on the other hand, all people's public imagination, this is karate. So our side is, it's very, very difficult to teach. What is the truth karate exercise? Truth practice karate. But unfortunately, Britain or almost Europeans, karate's population now little by little coming down. Because almost they wanted to try to competition, championship. In this case, only young people are interested. But on the other hand, all these nations group more attractive another physical sports, for instance, basketball, baseball, this kind of how do you say, performance activities, sports, they interest them. So karate itself, or including martial arts, the population really coming down.
One of the aspects of Shotokai that keeps people away from practicing it is that there's no competition or contest involved at any time. Sensei Harada explains why.
When I was a student, we tried this competition, but without contact. In this case, really we can't find out real power. Because karate itself, I do believe, power game. But if third party is judged, it's meaning naturally some politics they use it. This political judgment, it's not sports. Sports itself, player must be to give it a result, win or lose. In the case of karate's championship, this part we will not sort out. Very difficult. That's the one reason we don't interest in competition.
Although karate is a martial art, the club discourages its members from using their skills for self-defense.
Well, we try and avoid that. We try and think of, or especially with the kids, is the tendencies for the kid is to be violent when he learns a martial art. So from the beginning we try and get that part straight. We try and teach them not to use karate or whichever martial art in a way that is offensive or can really hurt somebody else. So from the beginning we try and teach that is not the way to go about it. And the way to do that is obviously by giving them the best one has got and the best education in our martial arts.
I've never known anybody from my own particular clubs have any problems And I must say that, sort of thinking back through the association through the years that I've been, I can't really think of anybody ever using it. There may well be people who have used it, but as far as I can recollect, I've never known anybody.
The two types of karate that are practiced here in Gibraltar are Shotokai and Shotokan. Although they both have the same roots, they differ in style and aims.
Ginchin Funakoshi, who was the inventor of modern-day karate, if you like, he brought the Okinawan styles to Japan and embellished them in Japan. His nickname was Shoto. And as he taught in Japan, there was a split in his group. Some of them wanted to fight with competition, and others wanted to just use it as a self-defense. So they split. And one was called Shotokai, which is the way of Shoto, which is the original way that Shoto wanted to teach a self-defense. And there is Shotokan, which is the hall of Shoto, which is the people who continue with competition and now are Shotokan in their own right. We've practiced with Shotokan people. We've had people come here much more in the days when the border was closed, when the fleet was in, because there was a lot of people in those days who would come and visit the club of different styles, completely different styles. But we always accept them. We always accept them for training.
Karate-do takes its name from three Japanese words. Kara, meaning empty, te, meaning hand, and do, the way of. Hence, karate-do means the way of the empty hand, or in other words, unarmed self-defense. There are times, though, that weapons are used for training.
We use them basically for training techniques. You're quite correct in saying that karate itself is open hand, so it's a handed defense. You don't use any weapon, but you must defend against weapons. So therefore the weapon side of it comes in on the attacking side more than the defending side.
Another peculiarity about martial arts is that all the instructions and terms used are in Japanese.
I really don't know why they weren't westernized, except for the fact that if you practice karate in any part of the world, the technique name is the same. Therefore, if you go to Japan, for instance, and you want to practice and everybody speaks Japanese, you can follow the class because you know what they're talking about as far as the move goes.
During any evening's training session at the karate club, there's a predominance of men practicing the sport. Martial arts don't seem to attract many women.
I think it's attracting more women than it used to, but I also think that as it's a contact sport, boyfriends do tend to get a little bit jealous of girlfriends, and I think that is one of the reasons why we don't have so many women in this particular sport. In fact, in this particular style, they have an advantage because they tend to be a lot more relaxed than men do. So they don't have the muscular power, not all of them anyway. So you tend to find that it's easier for them to learn certain techniques.
As we heard earlier, there are differing reasons for taking up a martial art. But there's always a target or goal that all new students set for themselves when they start taking their first classes.
In my case, it's become my hobby. You know, it takes most of my spare time, and it's something which I hope to do till I cannot anymore. You know.
I think it's peace of mind. He's relaxed. He knows how to relax himself. He can take out vent his anger at anything in the training.
Well, first time when I was a student as a case, I never expecting I had this obsessed such a long time by karate, never. But when I met to Mr. Egami, this is one of our senior of university club. He's a very, very good agitator and very good encouraging to people. So once when I was going to see Aikido, another martial arts, in the case of this Aikido's great master called Weishiba Morihei, he really, without touching some people's throat. So some part I dubbed. Sometimes, some part I'm really, really surprised. So it's truth or they are fixed, how they say, displays. I couldn't believe. So I asked to him, in the case, if this old man didn't do it, it's true. That's what he said. And if Aikido can do it, why karate didn't do it? In this case, he's very good agitated to me. Now, Harada, you must find out, you must do it. These times, really karate obsessed to me, and I still practice. And my dream is someday, sometime, without touching someone, throw out or someone knock down. But this is my dream. Still, I have keep. It's stupid. I don't believe so. But that's only my way, how to encourage it to continue karate.
20 years have passed since Bob Pugh first introduced karate to Gibraltar. Although it wasn't easy to get things off the ground initially, Bob is satisfied with the progress that Shotokai has made up to now.
I think if you just look at the club, you can see that we've gone from strength to strength. Not only have we built up karate in Gibraltar, we are very strong on the international scene as well. One of the original pupils is now senior instructor with Shotokai in England. And our boys are recognised just about every course that goes. So yes, I think we've done very well in Gibraltar.
One group in Europe, Gibraltar, one of tremendous success group. Because first in Gibraltar, we couldn't find any dojo. So our own dojo, how to keep it? This is our dream. Anyway, they created this kind of dojos and still carry on.
But what of the next 20 years? Does Shotokai have a future here in Gibraltar?
I think so. You know, you can just have a look at the club, and it's increasing weekly. You know, we're having more and more students, especially at kid level, and more and more different personalities joining. So I think it's growing generally.
I would like to see them dominate more and bring Gibraltar farther up. One of my biggest ambitions when I started the club was to get Great Britain to come here and practice, and we've had that on several occasions now. So if they are willing to come here, they must be coming for a reason. If it continues that way, we may be able to encourage people from other parts of the world to come here as well. Why not Japan?